Hi everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone that Noah said thank you to. I can't remember it all and I'm sorry. I would like to request a volunteer. Please raise your hand only if you are a lovely singer in possession of your own voice. Please raise your hand only if your hand is actually a sunflower. Some materials will be supplied, but others you should bring from home. You must have a home from which you can bring things. I need help reconstructing these crayons that broke in half after she told me what I kept drawing wasn't right enough. I have a thing for dinosaurs and lunar cities. I was trapped in a mythical past. I was imagining an improbable future. I need you to bring me a really long saw because I'm going to put you in this box and prove that I understand the finality of separation. You're going to need to bring some replacement parts for the parts of you damaged in this performance. I'm going to cover you with a sheet, and when you disappear, you will need to yell, indicating to the congregation that you are disappearing. Can you yell frantically? I may need to say, I'm in love with you, but trust me, it's only temporary. When I snap my fingers, you'll wake up and forget all of this. That's a poem called Demonstrated Melancholy. And this next one is called Engagement Protocol. Life is but a trigger. So what happens in the roots, or it happens in the air. Air that's empty when you look, but is positively charged when you try to recall it. Sometimes the horizon is so complicated because perspective is a trick we play on ourselves. You put your mouth to the fire, or your mouth is the fire. You amplify every moment, make it colossal, make it exactly as small as it really is. And what happens next is just bedtime, then nightmares, a drive mostly east, back to the place where I stand, a place I know I should better defend. There are so many days I only talk at myself. I don't say a single real word to anyone else. No one questions what no one can hear, and I whisper every good and bad thing in such fragile weather. Gray, rainy, cold, then record highs. The complex atmosphere between all of us. How much love there is, how much disconnection, passion, and loss. Standing outside with a beer and already I'm feeling everything collapse into one vital body. If we're lucky, it never dies, even when it exhausts itself, even when it expires. Friendship and loneliness are my two favorite colors. That poem used to have 4 extra lines on it, but my friend Matt Hart, who's reading it a little bit later tonight, helped me to cut down the stuff I didn't need. But when Matt sends me emails, he often is incredibly incomprehensible. And so there are some moments in this next poem that don't make any sense, and they are lifted directly from an email that Matt sent to me. The good parts of the poem are mine. It's called The Hills Have Justice, and it's for Donald Justice and Matt. Sunflowers on the kitchen table, on the bathroom counter, sunflowers hanging in the closet waiting to be worn, then swallowed whole to make my voice the brightest new light in a field of lightheadedness. Above it all, the sky full of stars, and it's 1:30 p.m. We can be forgiven for not noticing the burn. When I don't notice something, I do it strong. I keep my eyes fixed on the wall, on the ridiculous head of the sunflower reflected in the mirror, instead of the real one in real life where it matters. I will never confess what I did. I will never reflect on my life so I won't have to feel bad about it. Overhead, the sky full of etc., etc., full of verse, chorus, verse, my heart a vacuum in June, my head full of bad dreams, hundreds of them, every night like sharp stars. The lake full of monster. Every city has one, something big under the surface just waiting to destroy it before some other beast gets the pleasure. My new name is City. My address is unreadable. The traction that I feel is what holds me in place, not morals, not gravity, not the foundation of the academy. I've been a rebel my entire life. I'm waiting for the pain to set like a sun. Then we'll see all the things that are there to be seen. The birds in my chest where my heart should be. The hills full of justice. This fall, every leaf will turn its own type of golden voices together as they fall in the fall. Thank you. There are a lot of sunflowers in these poems, and I'm going to attempt to read one without a sunflower. This poem is called Welcome to Paradox, and there's a brief moment in the poem when I cook something. So I want to read this poem in honor of my friend Jeffrey Gatza, who's here tonight, who is a chef, but is also the guy who published my first book ever back in 2007, after meeting me, I think, for like 5 minutes. So Jeffrey, this one's for you. Thank you for coming too. Welcome to Paradox. Every clock in the building has a different idea about its prime function, about when we die. This is the daydream I always wanted. This proliferate meaninglessness, even when I was a kid, trying to race the shadows of the clouds, the birds that never seem content. Who can sit still when the option is flight? I spend too much time wondering how to judge the fall. I drive home from work to eat my lunch. I'm just sending out signals which report back what's happening around me. Turns out not much, at least nothing more than anyone could see with undamaged eyes. Mine gets splotchy in the late afternoon. The vision gets crowded by strobes of light, and I can't focus on the center, which is where everything happens. I worry every day that I'll go blind, though not enough to really do anything about it. I'm a man without fear. I wish I could stay on the highway forever and never stop. My brain gets so loose and makes up so much unpredictable noise. At home, the backyard was overrun with butterflies, but I cut 6 wooden stems off a lilac bush anyway, one for each room in the house. I made a big bowl of guacamole to stave off being anxious. I didn't use enough lime juice, or I used so much lime juice, are 2 different directions this poem could take. Both of them are real, and both of them matter. The poem is the place where I work out possibilities instead of in real life where there are consequences, where the results can be disastrous. It's a field where everything happens simultaneously and is true, and you believe it all equally just to see where it leads. I'm on the highway screaming in my car. On the table right here, everything is green and delicious because it's real, except for the lilacs, which are purple, but also real, and don't taste at all like what you'd expect. Think right. This is a poem that references an imaginary continent called Lemuria. Have you guys heard of Lemuria? It's like a sister city to Atlantis, and both of them were either real or not real. There's a point in this poem when I'm talking to a friend of mine who bases all of her life decisions on the crystals that she has collected, and which I think contain the spirits of ancient Lemurian scientists. Think right. I don't know if I believe that. I just want to say the background. I walk into the fog and fall all apart. The ghosts of some kids are flying around through the trees, over the gravel, or maybe they're real, the kids I mean, drifting in the air like moments that have already happened. I spend part of my day sketching boulders and rocks, some scattered all over and some stacked on purpose by people who died, people who aren't even people anymore. My poems are captivity narratives in which I play every part. The abducted princess, the demon, the mountain, even the clouds and the sky all around them. Sometimes I get killed, but sometimes just my identity gets ripped away. All the things that I did, whatever my dreams were. That's another new world I won't have to remember. In this world, I don't sleep easily. I'm living up in the air with the gods and the fog. Normally, I live under the sea with the fish people and my secret hoard of memory crystals. You can scan them to learn everything about me. For example, this white one is blank. This yellow one, too, so full of nothing. An invisible story under constant pressure. Whenever I close my eyes, the world goes away. War music. It's warm for January, the end of the month. a winter mostly without snow. And I'm driving to get a coffee because without Jenny, my whole life falls apart, which is a privilege, since I am not worrying about getting bombed or shot or debris falling from somewhere to crush my family. I have an inner life, yes. I spend so much time quiet. And when I say that my life falls apart, I only mean that I don't know how much coffee to make today. So I have to drive in my car, listen to Haydn on the radio, use money to buy whatever I want, and I haven't even done the dishes from last night, have forgotten how to organize my time, which I take for granted, that instead of spending the day hiding and terrified or getting shot in the face, I know I will have the same face tomorrow, and the same soft American heart, my stupid American ego. I will not be dead, my family won't be threatened, though we are already scattered and lost to each other forever. And right now I am telling all my electronic friends about a muffin I will eat. It is so huge and absurd, and I am proud to have it because I am huge and dumb and need to forget, because there is so much information I do not want to think about, because even here I will die quietly. I'm just going to read one more, and it's a poem in a couple of different sections. But thank you again for listening and for coming out. This is called Rise Time. It's too overwhelming, all the data that's happening, the crash of the instruments, the stars zeroed out, oh so dead before we get their light. To be in emergency contact every day of the week, you need to be safe, you need to be calm. Leave your phone on, but turn your radio louder. Real life surrounds us, says my friend, and he's right about that and about everything else. I heard a surprising sound in the living room, and I thought the lamp was broken. It was dropped to the floor. I saw a million pieces of lamp in my head. I knew then that my life's work would be reassembly, and I thought that would be a fine way to live. No more eyes to see with, just an instruction book. No brain, no heart, only guidelines. No more reason to fear the void, which tries so hard to devour us whole. No fear. What can save us? Where do we turn? Real life is all around us, and it's running out. I'm dazzled by the quality of my friend's deep attention, the way he sees everything, the pain in the planets, the backyard full of toys, the essential and insubstantial mess of it all. The focus that he chooses, which is everything together, on top or underneath, a collage of sympathies, and both of us are real people. We both have kitchen tables. Mine is covered with books and some fruit, a shaker from Bulgaria full of Cambodian black pepper, 100 napkins just waiting for a mess, some letters to mail tomorrow when I go to work. But all of this is stuff I want to forget because I know I will anyway, eventually. My sad quest to divest every moment of meaning before it runs out on me and leaves me alone. The dailiness floors me, gives me faith, bankrupts me, and breaks me. I reach out my hand through the breeze that's gathering, the wind that means something precious is ending. I like a wild cosmos, and I like a little loneliness because it keeps me honest. Daily, I'm reminded of the danger that surrounds us, as well as that it's okay, since it's more interesting to risk extinction than safely never make decisions. What I love about love is that it's a problem. How you can never take other things into yourself enough, or never see yourself reflected in every mirror all at once. All you can do is ache and stay alive. Stay open to the hurt of separation because it's full of possibilities. This is a human universe, and all the stars are dying. Reality grounds us, but you can't always trust us. This is the anthem I kept repeating while I slept. I was worried I'd forget the words, but my heart is always beating, and even when it stops, I'll still be on fire. I go downstairs, I make the coffee, I look out the window and see everything happening. Dear Matt, it's Saturday. I worry a lot about you getting tired, wearing out and then disappearing, but I realize I'm projecting. You're a reflector, and the whole world is sunshine. You point yourself out while I bury my head, while I run the old film strip one more time, again. I'm too much a ruin because of the past, and every word I write is trying to bring myself at peace with the scattered. We drove to my mom's house, two actual people, Nate and Jenny, Syracuse, New York, the town that we live in. I had to stop at the park because I was worried I'd forget the words to the tune of my life, that mindless humming, the thrumming of all the possibilities I only sometimes can recognize. The hazards are flashing to let other drivers know I'm not moving, that the stars all around us are ending their light show, that each of us is dying right where we stand. The days are endless until they stop. Human energy brings the monster to life, art and love, all the things that matter. You shout the present alive with your mouth. I see it all turning into a ghost. Real life astounds us, all the other people and all the other things. Even when I'm trying, it's hard to be specific. It's easier for me to be vague because I'm scared. Scared that maybe if I tell everyone what I love, I won't love it anymore. Or I'll still love it hard and it will disappear anyway. Once upon a time, long, long ago, I was born in Syracuse and immediately started dying. My light was so bright that it flickered. Thank you very much.